Mr. Chen, and distinguished guests, welcome to Scotland. Today, I'd like to give you a brief introduction to two wind farms that people here mention all the time. They're well known because they're large, they're visible in very different ways, and together they give a clear sense of where Scottish renewables are heading. Let's start on land with Whitlee Wind Farm. Whitlee is often described as the UK's largest onshore wind farm, and what really stands out is how close it is to everyday city life. It's located on Eaglesham Moor, roughly a 20-minute drive from central Glasgow. So it's not a distant, out-of-sight, out-of-mind project, it's right nearby, close to where many people live. Whitlee has 215 turbines and a maximum capacity of 539 megawatts. The site puts that into simpler terms by saying it can generate enough electricity to power over 350,000 homes. Even if you don't remember the megawatts, those other numbers tend to stick. Over 200 turbines, and electricity for hundreds of thousands of homes. It gives a clear sense of scale without needing any technical background. What also makes Whitlee feel different from many energy projects is that it's designed to be visited. It promotes more than 130 kilometers of trails and presents itself as a day-out destination, walking, cycling, even horse riding. There's also a visitor centre with basic facilities and a family-friendly feel. The message is essentially, this is part of normal life, come and see it. Not everyone loves turbines in the landscape, of course, but Whitlee clearly aims to build familiarity rather than keep its distance. Now let's go offshore, because Scotland's largest single offshore wind farm is Seagreen, and the feel is completely different. Whitlee is the one you can drive to for a walk. Seagreen is the one that signals large-scale power out at sea. Seagreen has 114 turbines, fewer than Whitlee, but its total capacity is 1,075 megawatts, which is roughly double Whitlee's maximum capacity. That comparison is helpful. Offshore wind farms often have fewer turbines, but each one is much more powerful. Seagreen is also a good example of how offshore projects are rarely just one company. It's a joint venture between SSE Renewables, Total Energies, and PTTEP. So when people talk about offshore wind bringing investment, they mean it quite literally, large international partners committing serious money to long-term infrastructure. One detail that makes Seagreen feel more concrete is how the electricity actually reaches land. Seagreen's project information explains that the power comes ashore at Carnoustie, and then travels via around 19 kilometers of underground cable to a new substation at Teeling, near Dundee. People don't always picture that chain when they imagine a wind farm, they picture turbines, and then power. In reality, there's a whole practical link: the landfall point, the cable route, the substation, and the construction work that makes it all function. That's often where local attention focuses. In terms of timing, SSE announced Seagreen as Scotland's largest offshore wind farm and confirmed it was fully operational in October 2023. That matters because offshore projects take years to deliver, and fully operational is a real milestone when it shifts from being a construction story to something that runs day in, day out. So, in plain terms, what do these two wind farms say about Scotland? Whitlee represents the close-to-home side of wind, large, visible, and presented in a way that invites public contact through trails and a visitor centre. Seagreen represents the big offshore push, fewer turbines, much greater output, major partners, and a very real physical connection from the sea back into the system on land. Put together, they show that Scotland's wind story isn't just one thing. It's onshore projects that people live near and see regularly, and offshore projects that deliver very large amounts of electricity while still connecting to the coast and local communities. That's my overview. If you have any questions, I'd be very happy to answer them.